Hey y'all, it's a wonderful day at the Cook's Warehouse. I'm Chef Melissa Pelkey-Haas and we are here today in the experimental kitchen to create French herb roasted chicken and dumplings. You know, I love to cook with cast iron any time of the year. I have cast iron classes at least, once a month or so, at least once a quarter. They always sell out because everybody loves cast iron. It's homey, it's comforting, and fall that's coming up is the best time I can think of to cook in cast iron. Cast iron is universal, it's nationwide, it fits every season, but it really, really fits fall food. All of your soups, your stews, braising, all of that's wonderful, comforting, homey, especially in cool weather. I get all excited thinking about it. So I'm really excited about our recipe today. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do when you spatchcock a chicken is you want to make sure the back is facing up. You can tell because his little wings are here, his legs are here. Of course, this would be the breast, and the bone down the center is the back. We're gonna use kitchen shears. You can use your knife, but kitchen shears make this process really easy. You want to take your kitchen shears and you want to identify exactly where the backbone is. You want to make your first cut going down the side of the backbone. Make sure that you don't get your thigh meat. So you want to come over to this side as much as possible. Also, watch your fingers. You don't want to cut through your fingers. Okay. So we've got one cut down one side of the backbone. Now we're going to cut down the other side of the backbone, completely removing it. See, the kitchen shears really make this an easy process. Once you have removed the backbone, we're just going to set that to the side. We're going to flip our chicken over. We're gonna press down on the center where the sternum of the chicken would be, just to flatten it. And that is spatchcocking your chicken. So the reason you would use this method is a couple things. First of all, it cuts your cooking time down. So it's a very efficient process because you don't have as much thickness as you do if the chicken is whole. So it's gonna cook really quickly. I say really quickly, it's gonna take about 1/3 of your time off. What we wanna do next to prepare our chicken for our chicken and dumplings is we want to season it. So what we're using here is we're using some butter, we're using some French herbes de Provence, since this is a French roasted chicken. Excellent brand of herbes de Provence, one of my favorite. Really affordable, super, super fragrant. You get a lot of herbs in this little jar. Herbes de Provence has fennel, it has thyme, basil, lavender, and the lavender really, really makes this just absolutely delicious. So we're gonna go ahead and mix our butter with about 3 tablespoons of our herbes de Provence. And we're gonna start rubbing the bird. Love your bird. I'm especially gonna get a lot of this butter and all the crevices under the wings. So what is the proper temperature? So the proper temperature to cook any type of poultry to is 165. I like to remove it before it hits 165 because residual heat is going to continue to cook your bird, your poultry. So you don't want it to dry out. So we're gonna pull this at about 160, 161, 162 in that neighborhood. We're gonna tent it and that'll bring it up to 165. Plus, we're gonna continue to cook this meat in our dumplings. The next thing we wanna do is we want to come under our skin. We're gonna place a few garlic cloves. I'm actually gonna grab a little of this butter here and put it under the skin too because that's just delicious. We can fold his little wings underneath him. Just kind of like he's doing a little oven bathing here. Okay. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit more seasoning to our chicken. And then we're gonna add a really nice quality extra virgin olive oil. Between the butter and the olive oil, this is gonna give us a really nice crisp skin. And even though we're not going to put that part into our chicken and dumplings, it's delicious to peel off and eat as a snack. Just saying. I'm gonna top this with a little bit of parsley. Then we are gonna roast our chicken at about 375 for about 40-45 minutes until it hits 160 degrees. Pull it out and tint it, and then we're gonna finish our dumplings. All right, so now we are back. We have our roasted chicken. It's been deboned. I actually took the bones from this and the skin and placed it in the stock, cooked that down a little bit more. So now we're going to go ahead and start our chicken and dumplings now that we have our chicken. So we're gonna bring this up to about a medium-high heat. All right. We have some sliced carrots. We're gonna add our carrots. We have some really fresh, crunchy celery. You can add onions to this if you like. And we're gonna let our vegetables just saute for a little while. We don't want them to turn to mush, but we don't want them super crispy. So we're gonna go ahead and cook these down to about crisp tender. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes and we now have all of our vegetables. They're nice and crisp tender. Got a tiny bit of caramelization going on, which we like. So from this point, we're gonna go ahead and start our roux. So the way we wanna do that is we're gonna add some flour. And we're gonna add our butter. And then we're gonna give this a good stir. The roux, which is the flour and the butter, is gonna make sure that we have a nice gravy that our dumplings are cooking in. So now we are gonna start to add all of this glorious stock. Do you guys see the color on this stock? Oh my. This should be smell-o-vision. This smells like fall. This smells like roasted chicken, garlic, French herbs. Yum. So now we've got all this beautiful stock. At this point, we want to go ahead and give this a taste. See where we're at with our flavors. That's really good. That's really good. Okay. Really don't need a whole lot of anything at this point. But because we're going to be adding dumplings to this, I'm going to add a little bit more pepper. Because season. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of salt. I'm going to add a little more of our herbs de Provence. And I'm going to give that a nice stir. Now, we're going to go ahead and make our dumplings. So we're going to take some cream, self-rising flour, I want to add some salt to this. Stir. So basically you're looking almost for a shaggy dough. All right, so now this is cooking nicely. We have a simmer. Then we're gonna take a scoop and we're just gonna drop our dumplings. This is my favorite part. I like this size. You can really make these any size you want. I like this size because they're not too big, they're not too small, and they are able to cook all the way through in a relatively short amount of time. Look at them just coming up. How nice. You can see all of the French herbs in your dumplings. If you can see them, you can taste them. We're gonna give the pot a nice little stir. It looks like we are like at max capacity here. We're gonna go ahead and add our chicken back into our dumplings. Look at the rise on those babies. All right. We're gonna put a lid on these guys and we're gonna let them cook for about 15-20 minutes. That aroma. It's almost just like being in France with all the French herbs. Again, we're using the herbs de Provence. Yum. So we've cooked this probably about 15-20 minutes. Our dumplings are nice and fluffy. We're gonna go ahead and serve up a nice plate of our chicken and dumplings. Just like Grandma used to make. This just screams warm and comforting. We're gonna add just a little bit of parsley over the top. We're gonna serve this with some delicious roasted garlic bread. And it doesn't get any better than that, y'all. So if you enjoy cast iron cooking and cast iron recipes, again, we offer classes usually once a quarter. We have several coming up. I feel it'd be of interest to you. We're gonna keep your tummies warm with all these cast iron cooking and all of these fantastic recipes. So take a look at our calendar. All of our classes are CDC guideline followed. We're masking, we're socially distanced. We're giving you a safe environment to come and cook. Not only that, but at Cook's Warehouse, we give you every excuse to cook.